All right. So this is a 3-part reverse osmosis system. Fills a couple gallons here that you can drink or use for cooking. It's got a separate little tap next to the main faucet and the kitchen sink. And 2 times now, this line, this black line, is the refuse water. If you don't know how reverse osmosis works, you have water supply coming into your house. Depending whether or not you have well or city water, it'll be under a certain pressure. In my case, I have well, and I'm generally between 45 and 55 psi. So that pressurized water is pressing against these filters going through. And, as these filters get older, they get harder for the water to push through because they get clogged up. And in my case, 2 times, this little tiny black hose goes up to the base of the faucet, and back down comes this dirty looking hose right here. See, it goes up and around. It's a big wide loop. Comes back down, and the only reason it does that is because it's an air brake. It's really stupid. It should and could just go from where it is right now straight over to this sink, because that's what happens. There's a fitting that's not connected to the faucet. It's just 2 nipples pointed down like this, so the water goes up, back over, and down. So it transfers from this little black hose to this large, dirty looking hose that dumps into this sink. And this sink simply goes into this sump basin. And so sometimes, enough water will go through there, fill up this basin enough, and the big horsepower pump will bust that stuff up this 2-inch pipe and out of here at high speed. And so sometimes you're like, well, I haven't run the washing machine. I haven't used any drains in the basement. Why is that running? And you got to remember, oh yeah, the filter membrane. Water is pushing its way through this filter, and only some of the water can actually make it into this filter. Only some. It can't all get in there, okay? It just, whatever water, under whatever pressure you have, remember these things operate at a certain pressure. These things are pretty well thought out. They can work with, normal household pressure like I just discussed. So some of that water goes in there. So all the water that passes through these membranes, these filtering membranes, does not end up in there. Only a fraction of it does. The rest of the water that tried to make its way through, and as these things get worse, they get worse and worse. So more and more water is bypassing the filters. It's pushing against the filters and trying to make its way in to the filtered water area. And anyway, all that water just ends up doing an air brake up here. It goes up this black hose, goes to the little fitting on the base underneath the sink at the filtered water faucet, back down and into the sink, which, like I said, makes the pump activate and lift it up into there and back down and into the septic tank, which is a big, dumb waste of time. Just a big, dumb waste of time. So what I'm going to do, because this hose, where it connects at the faucet, has cracked 2 times now, a year apart. It cracks right here at the fitting. Cracks right down about that far, and then the water just drips down. And then you open up your cabinet to get your dish soap so you can run your dishwasher, and you see there's water in there. So I'm done. It was something I should have done as soon as I moved in, but whoever plumbed it up did it because it was there and it was like that. I'm going to completely prevent this situation from going into the basin because I have a water softening system, filtration system, and it backs up into this air gap P-trap. It goes right to the main stack and down to the septic tank. And it's gravity in this situation. So there's no reason to have it like that anymore. Also, the dishwasher is like amplified by the kitchen sink. Every time it dispels water, it goes down a receptacle on the downpipe to the P-trap of the kitchen sink, and it just goes and it's the most annoying thing in the world. So both this reverse osmosis drain and the dishwasher drain, I'm going to plumb over to here, to this drain. I might have to do something with that PVC to make 3 little holes, or all 3 pipes should fit in there. I might have to find out kind of a special way to mount the dishwasher discharge. But this little thing, you know, you could just drop this in there. I'm gonna put a little band clamp on it to hold it there, obviously. But yeah, this is just one of those niggles that wears at you over time if you deal with it once or twice. Goodness, 3 times maybe if you're unlucky. Forget it. Just forget it. Take care of it the right way. This little black hose doesn't have to go up to an air brake, back down, and into the sink, into the sump, pumped up to the sump, and then into the septic. It can just be led from right there over to the drain right there. That simple. The same thing with the dishwasher. Well, the dishwasher is already going into the main stack. It's not going down to the sump. It's just going to get rerouted. So I don't have to listen to it go every time it discharges.